Hello, Mountaineer Nation. As you may know, Rich Rodriguez has become the 36th head football coach at West Virginia University. And like it or not, I respect your opinion, but yes, I am in the 50% that wanted Rich Rod to return to Morgantown. Many of you may think that I am a fan of Rich Rodriguez. He got results. That's what I like about Rich Rodriguez. And he wins. That's what I like about Rich Rodriguez. I am a football purist and not a fan. I report on what I see. And as an alum of the school and being up there as a law school student as well as undergrad and being a native of West Virginia, you know, I've seen what it takes to build a program. So I report on what I see, and more importantly, I talk about how I feel. And so when you look at Rich Rodriguez, this is my take. And this is the reason why I think that he should be the coach of West Virginia. Over the past 12 years, West Virginia's program just has not met expectations. Well, what do I mean by expectations? Well, West Virginia hadn't consistently won at a big-time level in about 12 years due to coaching, poor coaching, and leadership from top to bottom. That's just been the case. And if you want to further define, how many of those years has West Virginia really competed for a Big 12 title? Well, you can't think of any because they didn't. They always finished in the middle of the pack. This has been since Rich Rod left Morgantown. Then also, West Virginia University football hasn't been relevant on the national level. So those are my reasons for wanting Rich Rodriguez back. Now let's take a look at the Rich Rodriguez story that really hadn't been told. But the way I'm going to tell it, nobody else is going to tell it quite like this. West Virginia's native son basically left in a huff after the Pitt debacle. But we don't know the backstory on the problems he was having with the administration. But you had two great men, Passalong and Rodriguez. Sometimes you don't see eye to eye. Rich Rod went and left in a huff after that. Really didn't explain it to the West Virginia people and the fans and Mountaineer Nation when he left. So he left it up to them to use their imagination. And you know what happened then. But he went on and took that Michigan job, the big house. He thought he was flying high. He was looking for that gold where he could quickly win a national championship. But what he found was that Michigan didn't even give him a chance to build the program according to his vision. They didn't see his vision. So they fired him basically after a couple of years. So that was personal failure in itself in something that he hadn't experienced. But here again, Rich Rod was looking for the gold, and he thought it was in Michigan, at Michigan University, but he never found it. Then he went on to Arizona. He had some successes there. I think he won a conference crown. And then they parted ways with certain things, personal scandals and everything happened at that university. From there, he went on to be an OC at Mississippi. They had a coaching change by bringing Lane Kiffin in. He was still looking for gold and a place to lay his head, but they wasn't having it either. So they didn't renew his contract to come there. So you've had Michigan, you've had Arizona, Ole Miss. He goes to Jack State. He puts in the time, he puts in the work, and then here he goes. He wins a Conference USA championship in about a couple of years. The guy is a worker, but he was looking for the gold, and the gold was not there. It was never out there. Rich had the West Virginia program ready to rise and win a national championship. They fell just short. The gold was never in Michigan, Arizona, and neither was it down in Florida. The gold was always in Rich's backyard. He went to look for riches all over the nation as a football coach, only to know that the gold was in his backyard in Morgantown. And now he's realized that, and the native son has returned back. Now it's going to be a question of whether West Virginia University fans, Mountaineer Nation, actually accepts Rich Rodriguez. I'm one that's going to welcome him back into the fold. But I know he had a lot of personal failures and hardships. But get this, if you think about yourself and anything that you've had to do, you've had hardships in your life and personal failures. Kids leave home all the time and know that they've made a mistake. Some of them have cut off their parents, just to find it was the wrong thing to do, because the home is where the heart is. And that's why I support Rich Rodriguez's return. And it's going to be up to you guys to think it through all the way, and what this man had to endure from moving from Michigan to Arizona to Florida, only to know that the gold was back in them dar heels of West Virginia University in Morgantown. West Virginia has always been a prestigious program, historical, got some resources. And like he said, West Virginia can win a national title. And I believe that, because he believes it, and he's a worker, and he's results driven. But the bottom line is the native son return. And whether you guys are going to accept him or not, or take him at full face value, that's going to be up to you guys. He said in his presser that he wants to earn your trust and respect, and he also admitted that he made a mistake 17 years ago. So I don't know how much more you want from him, but he's coming in to work, and he's going to be making in his first year less money than Neil Brown was making on his exit. There's going to be escalators in the contract, incentives for him to meet, but he's ready to meet it and bring that hard edge in, making players tougher mentally and physically, and be better than any other opponent that they've faced. And he says they're going to have to work hard. And he doesn't give away positions. He doesn't anoint quarterbacks. He makes them earn it. So that's, to me, was the Rich Rodriguez story. And I think he is the guy to build the program. And no, I don't know his politics. I don't know his position on race and gender. I don't know him like that. But what I do know, his resume speaks for itself when it comes to building programs and having the players really to like him, because they know the work that he's put in. But I don't know nothing really about the character issues. The only way I can see character is look at what he does. Has Rich Rodriguez changed from 17 years ago when he left Morgantown in a huff and a puff, and gave no respect to the state and was arrogant toward the state? But what happened when the prodigal son left home? He was humbled, and he's come back a humbled man into the fold. So that's why I'm welcoming him back. But y'all have a choice to make whether you want to welcome him back into the fold. But I think he is the man to get it done. And that's where I'm at on Rich Rodriguez, because if you look at the whole landscape, all the OCs around the country, all they're doing is peddling offensive philosophies, whether it's the air raid, the run and shoot, or all of these offenses. But when they get in, they can't run a total program. Offense, defense, and special teams. And Rich knows how to staff, make his hires. His football hires, he says the first one he wants to make is a defensive coordinator because he wants to pay him well to get the job done. He believes in the running game. He's willing to adapt to the new style of play. He knows he can't run the power spread down your throat. So let's see what he comes up with. Let's take a look at him in the spring and see how he's progressed. And that's, again, why I support Rich Rodriguez as the new coach of West Virginia University. And that's the way I feel. I respect you guys' opinion to differ. I wish you would voice your opinions because I've liked the way y'all been riding with me all year and listening to what I've got to say. West Virginia, strong, leave no doubt. C. Ivan Franklin at B. Frank for real. Let's go, Mountaineers, and let's win that bowl game this Tuesday.